All right, ladies, I have something for you tonight. In working with Cathy to help build her new brand, she was revealing to me a shift that she's making in her business. And as soon as she shared it with me, I knew that I was going to wanted to be one of the first people she worked with. And then she asked me, hey, Letha, are you interested in this program? I was like, absolutely. It's like, absolutely. She was like, great, great. I hope I'm your first client. I don't know if I am, but I would love to say I'm your first. But anyway, so I asked Cathy to come and share the same information with you guys. So Cathy Sexton is the CEO of the Productivity Experts. Cathy Sexton has a background in accounting, in organizing, and in productivity. And what I've learned about Cathy is that as the productivity expert, she has a very unique but yet powerful way of taking the frustration and the overwhelm that comes from trying to run a business and manage a business and wear all of the hats that we have to wear. She does a great job of helping us understand how to keep things into context, how to prioritize things, and how to keep the first things at the top of our priority list. So I asked Cathy to come and share with you tonight some of the new information that is a part of her brand, and she so graciously said yes because she's that's right. And so I want you to give my friend a warm welcome as she comes to share this information with you. Cathy Sexton! I give you a hug. Normally I would just shake your hand.
So wasn't this morning, or I should say all day, awesome? Anybody else feel that way? Yeah. Everybody's ready to take their business in a new direction.
Take over the world.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about your dream. So I assume that you all had your dream, and if you didn't have it before, you have it today, right? We know what it is. We know what we're passionate about. We know what we want to do because it comes from here, right? Everybody with me? And then we want to be wildly successful, right? Isn't that the goal? We want to be able to help our tribes. We want to help those ideal clients of ours. And to do that, we're going to be wildly successful. And we're going to make lots of money. Anybody with me on that one?
Yes.
Right. I mean, that's the goal. When we think about it, yes, we want to give our gift. We want to, help other people. But bottom line is we want to make money so that we can live the life we want to live and be able to give it away, be able to support our families, whatever that is for you. But what happens is then we come upon the struggle. The struggle to, do we get enough clients? Do we have enough income coming in? Do we have enough to pay our bills? Okay, we can get our bills paid, but do we have any money left over for profit? And biggest one, do we have any money for ourselves?
And for retirement.
Oh, our retirement, yes. I agree. But a lot of times, entrepreneurs and small business owners are the last ones that get paid. They're always after the fact. We always take care of everybody else before we take care of ourselves. We always think it's the next big sale. It's the next big client. All I need is 5 more clients and I'll be, in that profit zone. Has anybody been there with me? Yeah. It's always about that. It's always, if I can just do this much. But you're not alone with feeling any of that because 28 million small business owners in the United States. 28 million. And 22 million of those are at break even. That's what was really scary and an eye-opener for me. And for some of those, I'm sure they're in the red. I've been in the red. I've had years of break even, and I've had it, 1 or 2 years of, losing money. So it's really, so I want to ask you, where are you in that place? Can you find yourself in one of those, right? because we fall in, and hopefully that 22 million, there's a whole lot more successful ones than there are ones that are losing. So we always think about sales as our money, right? That's what we were taught. The more sales we get, the more money we get, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to think about it that the sales aren't the money. Sales mean profit. It's not about getting, a whole lot more sales, but if you're not going to get any profit in the end, you're working really hard to bring in all this money and all these sales, and you're still not going home with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So my success solution and how I help individuals is basically what I call the profitability pyramid. And first, there's a foundation of the profit first mentality, and you have to create that foundation so everything else can support everything else that you want to do. And then the second stage is our productivity strategies. So what is productivity strategies? It's about making sure that you're working in your natural productivity style. You're not trying to mimic what somebody else is doing because it works for them. You really need to know who you are and that you're working authentically, and it's going to make you a lot more productive that way. It might be a situation of, what's my prime time? When is my energy? Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? But we have to find out what works for us. So those are the strategies that I feel like need to be put into place. And then on top of that are the tools. What kind of tools can help you be more productive? Is it Evernote? Is it Basecamp? Is it Outlook? There are so many out there. But the key is, does it work for you? Because most of the time, we just try to emulate what somebody else is doing, and we don't really find out what truly works for us. Because it's not what you should do, it's what you will do. And those things that you will do are the only way you can sustain it. So tonight, I just really want to talk about Profit First, because it's so exciting, and it's made a huge shift in my business alone. And when I implemented it for myself, I hadn't even thought about bringing this into my company. I just was doing it for myself because I knew I had to do something different. And as soon as I did, it was life-changing. So the foundation is based on Profit First. Mike McAllowitz, who is the toilet paper entrepreneur. He's also written The Pumpkin Plan. And if you haven't read The Pumpkin Plan, as I think Lethea mentioned earlier today, it's a book that needs to be on your list. This book needs to be next. But it's really
You guys
powerful,
want me to put the fries
book.
for you? Okay.
So where the problem comes in is that we have been in this cycle of getting sales, and then we take away our expenses, and what's left is profit, right? Isn't that what we were taught?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've all been doing
Right.
all along. That's called the gap. It's called General Acceptable Accounting Principles. That is what the world, and we have all been taught in, and that's what CPAs do, is those are the guidelines that they use.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about sales
Mm-hmm.
minus expenses equal profit.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody do anything other than that?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a broken system. It's a broken problem. And it's not that we've been doing anything wrong, because we've all been doing what we were taught. And it's the only thing we know, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So has anybody ever heard of Parkinson's law? And I'm not talking about Parkinson's disease, but Parkinson's law is about taking a resource and letting that resource expand, okay, to match the resource, the time, or whatever that we have to fill. So a couple examples. One, we have a project due. If I tell you it's due in 3 weeks, you'll probably get it done in 3 weeks, right? But if I tell you I need it at the end of the week, and we have a big client, it's got to be done, when will we get it done? By the end of the week, right? So our time or our work expands to the amount of time that we have. Another way to look at that is toothpaste. Don't you love it when you have a brand new, full, nice tube of toothpaste, and you get that toothbrush out and you bead up that nice big old bead of toothpaste on your toothbrush, and you stick it under the faucet and the run, and it falls off. It falls off. So what do? You rinse it down the sink and you put another big bead on, right? But what happens when you're getting low on toothpaste? You start conserving that because you're not going to go grocery shopping for a week, and so you put as very little as you do. And if you do put it under the water and it falls off, you're going to scoop it up and you're going to brush your teeth, right? Right. So it's about that expansion. If we have a lot, we're going to use a lot. So the same way with our money. If, Lethea gave the ladies a budget of $5,000 to put on this event, they're going to spend $5,000.
Yeah.
But if she gave them a budget of $1,500, they're going to spend $1,500, right? And we would have still had a great event.
Right.
So we expand. So that's Parkinson's law, and it's just naturally who we are. So there's nothing wrong with us. We're not broken. But we just need to be aware of that. So we want to learn how to do it differently. So I ask you, do you want to start getting paid?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Absolutely right. So we can use that Parkinson's law to help us. So how many check their bank statement once or twice a week online? Who does online banking?
I do.
Right. Okay. And that's because we have that and it's so convenient. That's how we run our business, is by checking online and see how much money we have in the account, right? So when we think about the Parkinson's law, if we have a lot of money in the bank, we just got this great big client that gave us this great big retainer. Oh yeah, I can do that. Wouldn't I like to have that? And before you know, the money's gone, and we're then back into that cycle of where's the next dollar going to come from? How am I going to pay my expenses? Then we also have the profit and loss balance sheet, cash flow statements that we should all be looking at once a month minimum. Who does? A few. But for the most of us, especially small business owners who don't have any accounting knowledge, that's very intimidating.
Mm-hmm. I hate it, actually.
They don't understand it. They get threatened by it.
Mm-hmm.
So what Profit First does allows you and lets you use balanced bank accounting to help you make the right decisions. So the fix is we change that gap, that sales minus expenses to profit, and we now have sales minus profit equal expenses. And there's a few more in there that I want to talk about. But think about it. I don't know. I grew up with people telling me when I went to work, you always pay yourself first. Make sure you put money in your savings before you go spend anything else. Anybody else? Yeah, we were taught that. Do we all do it? No. And especially as business owners, we don't, because we know, it's hard. We have to work hard. There's a lot of expenses we have being a business owner. And we convince ourselves that we don't deserve to get what we really deserve to get paid a lot of times. Just mentally, and that's usually subconsciously from our backgrounds. So I'm going to give you the 100-foot view of Profit First. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first, there's 5 bank accounts, and that might seem overwhelming. But it's really not. It's really easy. So you have one for income. So that as you deposit your checks, they go into this account, right?
Mhm.
Then twice a month, you take money based on a percentage that you'll figure out what that is. You put that much money in your profit account. Then you have your owner's pay account.
Whoa.
You actually get paid. You're second in line. And then you have a tax account because your business should be paying your personal taxes. And then what's left is the operating expenses. And what this does is it allows you to be more strategic with that operating money. It's a lot harder, but it's a lot easier in some ways to make decisions on where we spend our money. We start looking at our money differently. Okay, if I spend this, is it going to give me that return I need to continue my flow, right? Versus I have money in the bank, I get to spend it. So it limits that amount, and it kind of puts us on a budget in a sense. So twice a month, you'll allocate the percentages to each account. Now, they recommend that you have 2 banks so that you put the profit and your taxes in a different bank so you can't borrow from it and bring it back, because it really should be yours. And then, if you have debt, anybody have debt? I know I do, which I'm whittling down. But the great thing about this plan will help you eliminate that debt, because you'll set up a process to start whittling that debt down by using Dan Kennedy's method. And then quarterly, this is cool. Quarterly, you get to take the profits that you've collected over the last 3 months and you split it. Half of it goes back into the business, and half of it is your bonus.
Like that.
And the people that have really implemented this, they savor that money and they spend it on themselves or their family. They do something they would have never done before because it's something that is, a bonus. So what this does, it not only gives you money coming in, but because you see that money coming, you want to work harder. Because every dollar comes in the door, you get a percentage of that.
Mhm.
And so that part that goes back into the company slowly builds up, so that if you have 3 months that you don't, for whatever happens, and whatever, things happen. My husband had open heart surgery 2 years ago, and I didn't do any work for 3 months. And so when we have those things in our life that happen like that, then we have this cushion to be able to take care of what our needs are for our company to keep it moving forward. Does this all make sense?
Yes.
Do you all like this idea? Awesome. So the coolest thing about it is that it's a really different, it's a mind shift change. And mine was immediately. Now, I am an accounting person, so of course, it was really easy for me to set up, whole thing. I mean, I created a spreadsheet. All I have to do is plug in my deposits. It tells me how much to put in every, account. I don't even have to think about it. And, so I look at money totally different. It was an instant switch when I seen money in every single one of those accounts. I now have money that is mine. I have money that's profit. I have money to pay my taxes at the end of the year, instead of scrambling and figuring out how I'm going to do that. It is the coolest thing, and it just makes me, okay, I'm doing this for a reason now. Not only to serve others, but to serve me and my family.
Mhm.
And my husband has to retire at the end of the year because of a health issue, so he'll retire in November. So that's kind of been a little weighing on me. But, I feel so much better about it because I can see I have a little bit more control over all that. So another mind shift change that I want you to think about is expenses. I would like for you to stop calling them expenses and call them investments, because they are investments to your company. You pay to come here, and this is an investment in you, an investment in your company. But we tend to look at it as an expense. And when we switch that mindset, we again then start looking and we start weighing things a whole lot more before we say yes. And that's where the success comes in. Because now, not only are we taking care of the people that we love and that are our people and that we want to help, we're also now taking care of our families. We're having money to do the things we want to do. And we can enjoy the life that we really want to live. So the Profit First process is basically based 3 phases, which I just kind of went over. But phase 1 is you do a historical analysis of your company, and then you figure out what those percentages are for each one of those items. And just to go back to those percentages a little bit, it might be that you decide your profit is 5%, your owner's pay is 50%, which for service people it should be. And, maybe 10% or 15% tax, and you go, well, I can't do that, right? Where's all that? But you don't start off that way. You start off with a little bit, and then every quarter you start upping in your percentages. So it just works beautifully. And then phase 2 is the allocation of those is, every 2 weeks, and then quarterly you do the allocation. And then thirdly is on a monthly, quarterly basis. You're always reviewing. You're looking at where you're spending your money. You're looking at making sure that you're making what you're spending on is going to really make the difference in your business. So again, the success plan is having this foundation of profit first, then creating strategies that really work for you in your business, for your personality, for your situation, and then looking at those productivity tools, and you will have more time, money, and energy. So before I finish up, any major questions? Okay. Yes?
It's not a question per se, kind of something that I learned. I wish I would have hired a CPA a lot sooner than I did. It took me 6 years of me doing it myself, starting out on the spreadsheet, and then moving to try to learn QuickBooks myself, and then from QuickBooks realizing that I was just out of my element, and then a year went by before I was like, I can't do this. So for anybody else in that predicament, I would absolutely recommend that you start with a CPA who's going to teach you what you need to know about QuickBooks, what is imperative that you have into QuickBooks or whatever you're going to use. Do it before you get 6 years into your business and feel overwhelmed.
Well, and when you are feeling overwhelmed, that's the one thing I have my clients look at. Should they really be doing their accounting? Because that's the number one thing that you can really mess up. And then if you have to pay somebody to clean it up, you've wasted a whole lot more money. Not only your time and your effort and your frustration, but now you have to pay somebody to clean up what they could have done 5 times faster than you could. So that's definitely an area. So I'm a Profit First professional coach, and I've got some free things for you. So we have a handout that we're going to give out that basically will give you those processes I told. So they're all written down, so you can go and you can implement this on your own. I also am going to give you a bonus of the first 5 chapters of Mike's book, and those are the most meaty. Those are the plan, right? So you just need to go to the Productivity Experts /bonus PF for Profit First. We will make sure that I don't think it is because we didn't have the page up. Pardon? Yep.
Just pull it out. Pull it straight out.
Okay, so it's the productivityexperts.com/bonus PF for Profit First. And then when you get to that page, you'll be able to fill out a form and it'll take you right to basically the 5 chapters of Profit First book, which is just, his whole story is awesome, and I think you'll enjoy it. And then you'll also see on that page, remember when I told you that you need to do an analysis and figure out all of those percentages? I am going to give you, there's an option on my page that if you are interested in taking it further, we can talk about it, and then I'm gifting you all $450 off of that analysis. So, there are some major things, and I just want to tell you, myself, my clients that are already starting to implement this, it has just been a whole mind shift change, a whole profit change. It's just been huge, and I'm now, I can't talk about it without smiling and enjoying and knowing that I now get to save companies and entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs, and get them away from that struggle of not giving, doing what they love, but reaping the rewards also. So my question to you, are you ready to be wildly successful?
Yes.
Yes? Come on. Absolutely. And make lots of money? Absolutely. So thank you, and I hope this was empowering for you.
Thank you so much, Cathy. I appreciate you.
I know.
I do have a question.
Yes.